Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here I am with the BlackBerry Q10. Now, James has already done a demo video of the Q10 for us, but we do now have a full retail Q10. So for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to do an unboxing video for you, and we'll recap the spec as well. So the Q10 is sort of, I suppose you'd say it's more typical in terms of BlackBerry design. I think when most people think of BlackBerry, they think of a device with a QWERTY keyboard underneath a sort of squarish screen. So come back to it in just a second and we'll have a look at what else is in the box. So on one side we have UK USB style charger, very small as you can see there, so UK 3-pin with a USB socket on the bottom. We also have a European round dual pin connector or mains charger with again the USB connector on the back. So there are two discrete chargers there, which I suppose is a little unusual. We then have loads of manuals, so we have safety and regulatory information. We have the same thing effectively in Russian by the looks of it. We then have the same thing effectively in another language, and then we have the same thing in another language, and then we have important please read information, and then information about the Snapdragon processor. Finally, right, so we have some other stuff. We have a inline, let's have a look, let's set this up properly, a wired headset. So we have a wired headset with a 4-pole 3.5mm jack and an inline microphone with a push button. You'll notice that it is the flat cable design, which does mean that they tangle less, which surprisingly it may sound, actually does seem to work. We then have the in-ear headphones, which have the little rubber bits on the top there as well. They do just mean that they stay a little bit more secure actually in your ear, so they're kind of cool. So that's the wired headset. We then have, that was the bag for the battery. Then we have the, there we go, the wire or the USB to micro USB sync charge cable. So if you use that to connect to your PC or your Mac to transfer stuff to and from the device, or indeed to charge it. So coming back to the device itself, and we'll start on the front. So on the front we have a 3.1-inch display, which is a Super AMOLED, and it's 720 by 720 pixels. Kind of an unusual square resolution. Don't know of any other device that's got 720 by 720. I'm sure somebody will correct me. But yeah, Super AMOLED capacitive touchscreen. We have a forward-facing camera which is 2 megapixel, and that is used for like video, that kind of stuff, or taking pictures of yourself indeed. And it does support 720p video recording. The obvious thing here is the large QWERTY keyboard, or fairly large QWERTY keyboard. And it is extremely similar, if not the same, as on the 9900 Bold. The design is very much the same, so you notice that, if you pick that up so much on the video there, maybe at that angle, is that the keys are actually shaped, so they slightly angle towards the left on the left hand side and slightly angle towards the right on the right hand side, just to mean that typing should be a little easier. Kind of that's the idea. On this side then, we have at the top an HDMI out connector, then the micro USB sync charge connector. On the bottom, loudspeaker and microphone, and on the right hand side we have an up and down volume and a media button. These can be used for media controls as well, for playing back audio as an MP3 player. A couple of holes on the top, microphones, and the power button in the centre. 3.5mm headphone jack on the side, indeed for plugging in your own headphones or the ones supplied. 8 megapixel autofocus camera on the back with a little LED flash as well. We do support 1080p video recording at 30 frames a second there too. You notice the back design is quite nice. It sort of has this carbon fibre effect, which is a little bit more interesting than just plain flat black or matte black finish. Underneath the cover we have the battery, which is pre-installed here as supplied to me. It is a 2100 milliamp hour battery. It's quite chunky and quite weighty. Nice thing about the Q10 is that we have a user replaceable battery, so you can have multiple batteries charged and ready to go. Particularly useful if you're away from your office or on business, or indeed spending a lot of time away from home, so you can have a spare battery on standby in your bag. Here we have space for the SIM card, micro SIM, and then we have a micro SDHC memory card slot there as well. Obviously both of them are unpopulated. The back cover has the NFC antenna built into it, and those two connectors there do pick up on the little connectors there, as you can see. So that's where our NFC antenna is. And if we just power up, while I wait for that to start, which will take a little while, I'll just run down the rest of the specifications. So in terms of size, we're just a shade under 120 millimeters from top to bottom, just under 70 millimeters wide, and 10.4 millimeters thick. In terms of weight, it's fairly weighty actually, it has to be said, and I think that's a lot of that is down to the large capacity battery that's inside. But 139 grams, which might not sound like a lot, but compared to some larger handsets, it's quite weighty, and you can kind of notice that additional weight in your hand. That said, it's not by any means heavy, but you notice there's a slight heft to it. As I say, the 720 by 720p, 720 by 720 pixel rather, display is Super AMOLED. We do have built-in loudspeaker and 3.5mm jack on the top. The micro SD card supports up to 64 gig micro SD. Internal memory we have 16 gigs, so there's a reasonable amount of storage for applications, videos, music, that kind of stuff anyway. 2 gig of RAM. There is quad band and it's 4G, so that will work in most countries. We have built-in Wi-Fi supporting 802.11b, A, B, G, N and dual Wi-Fi hotspot modes. Bluetooth 4 with A2DP support. The connector on the side is the micro USB 2.0. So forward-facing camera is 2 megapixel as well. BlackBerry 10 operating system, and it has just been announced, BlackBerry 10.1. Processor, we have a dual-core 1.5 GHz processor, and we have gyro, proximity sensors, ambient light sensors, and all that kind of stuff as well, and GPS. So, for those of you that have seen the Z10, we do have essentially exactly the same interface, albeit that we have a different size because of having a square resolution display. So to unlock, we swipe up from the bottom, from off the screen onto the screen. So we have our apps, we have the BlackBerry Hub, have it the other way, all of our other stuff that's there. And if we launch an application such as Contacts, and we come back out of there, and there we go. So that's our BlackBerry Hub, running applications, and then as you can see there, running applications in this sort of task manager view are shown, so you can go back to our running application very, very simply. And if we don't want one, we can just close it and just close it. So that's effectively your task manager. It's going to warn me here, basically because I don't have a SIM card installed, but we have a nice capacitive touch screen, works extremely well, and the QWERTY keyboard also works extremely well. So if we come back out of there, in terms of installed applications, you can see a few things here. I mean, one thing that's quite apparent is that we do have the social networking stuff already pre-installed, so Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn, and also indeed Foursquare, LinkedIn being quite well integrated into the BlackBerry 10 experience. Coming the other way, we have Compass, which is working reasonably well. It doesn't seem to be, doesn't seem to be too much interference on that Compass right now. What else do we have? So we have a calculator. We can go into the setup, and indeed the help and the search. Setup will actually allow us to go through all the configuration of different accounts, BlackBerry Messenger, indeed connecting to Wi-Fi, payment options, BlackBerry Protect for backing up your settings on your phone, and your contacts and all that kind of stuff, and your BBM contacts particularly. Learn how, so we can know how to basically use those gestures that are very much part of the BlackBerry 10 experience, so swiping backwards and forwards between the home screen, showing options, pulling down at the top, which I don't think was here. That's true. There we go. So pulling down at the top for settings menu, turning Bluetooth on and off, Wi-Fi, alarm, notifications, and so forth. We go straight into the camera as well from here. So you can launch camera menu, and we have a reasonable camera. We can also do video recording, turn on the back video light on, off, and so forth, and we can come back out of there. Well, that's a very quick look in terms of demo of BlackBerry Q10. If you want to have a look at the interface a bit more, and indeed BlackBerry 10 a bit more, please check out our other videos. So we have a BlackBerry Q10 and BlackBerry Z10 video which will show you BlackBerry 10 in a bit more detail. This just really is a sort of kind of a quick look at the Q10 and the unboxing of the Q10. I'll be back soon with some more videos on and reviews on tracyandmatt.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.